Hello guys, welcome back. So today's video is another review on a very highly reviewed and spoken about Japanese skincare product, and it is the Rohto Melano CC range. Now I do not have the full range. I believe they do have like a lotion and a cream as well, but I will be reviewing these two products, the Melano CC Essence and also the Melano CC Shea Mask. So let's get right to it. So we are going to talk about the Essence first. Now this one, I see it absolutely everywhere. It is probably one of the highest selling Japanese skincare products like globally. First things first, it is in a 20 ml tube. The main ingredient is vitamin C. It is a vitamin C serum. So it helps with evening out skin tone and lightening scars, and then it does also have vitamin E as well. Other ingredients include licorice extract, which helps to soothe the skin and also is an anti-inflammatory. It does also have IPMP, which stands for isopropyl methylphenol, if I said that right, which is antibacterial, so it's good to fight and prevent bacteria which causes acne. So it actually has ingredients that not just evens out skin tone and is good for post-acne, but is actually good for current or breakout prone acne sufferers. So it comes in like a small, I guess, like, I don't know if you call it aluminium, but it is like a coated tube. It is not clear, which is good since it is a vitamin C serum, so it won't go through oxidation as quick. And the tip is just a very small tip. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's just a tiny little tip on the end of the tube. I had a subscriber mention this, but do not mistake it for the cream. Melano CC has like a cream as well, and it is in a very similar packaging. It looks pretty much the exact same. So make sure if you do want the essence to get this smaller tube. It is lightweight, but it does have kind of like an oily texture, a little bit of like thickness or like stickiness behind it. It does feel like a little bit like an oil, so I find it doesn't glide quite as easy as say like a water-based serum. It has a sweet citrus fragrance. Honestly, I do like the fragrance, but it is added fragrance and it has kind of like that orangey lemony citrus fragrance to it. So the way they say to use it on the actual packaging is that after you have cleansed your face and prepped your skin with toner, apply a few drops in the palms of your hands and then press into the skin, or alternatively you can just use it in targeted areas that you do have some pigmentation. It also says that if you use 4 to 5 drops once a day, it will last you 5 to 6 months. So it is a small tube, but it will definitely last you a long time. I have been using it very generously, but it has already lasted me quite a few months. Before we get into like the final review, I will say I went through many experiments and many different uses with this essence to really dig deep. I feel like a lot of people are curious about this essence, and it also is a very affordable price. I think it's between 1,000 to 1,500 yen, probably not even that much, but it is extremely affordable for a vitamin C serum. So I really wanted to see what the results were like. So the first way I used it was I actually applied it all over just the right hand side of my face for quite a few weeks. Honestly, it was probably at least 2 to 3 weeks, and I just dropped it like directly onto my skin and just kind of rubbed it in just on the right hand side. To be totally honest, I was not very impressed. I did not see many results at all. Felt like it didn't help brighten scars or sunspots. I felt like it just wasn't really doing much. I couldn't tell the difference between my left and right side, so I was kind of like, maybe this is a bust. The second way I applied it was to apply it directly just on targeted areas and scars. Now this way I did see a huge difference. So I just applied it directly either on the scar or on my finger and rubbed it in. Within 2 to 3 weeks, the scars were noticeably lighter. Some were undetectable. It depends on the scar, of course, and how bad the pimple was, but some of them was essentially like gone, and then others had definitely faded. So I actually had one on my forehead that I was working on, and then like 2 on my cheek. The forehead one you can kind of see still. I mean, I'm wearing makeup, but you can kind of see it, whereas the ones on my cheeks, honestly, I don't really know where it is anymore. It lightened them to that point, which was amazing, but I do not think it works on sunspots like at all. I only think it also works on new acne scars. So if you've had a scar from like a pimple for a while, like it's been a month already, I don't think it works that well. I tried on lots of different scars, and the only ones that I found that were quite effective was brand new scars. So the third way I applied it was the way they actually recommended it. I applied 5 drops in the palm of my hand, rubbed it together, and then pressed it in to my skin. I actually really liked this form of application and thought it was actually the the easiest way, I guess. I am not the biggest fan of the texture, so I find it quite hard to work with sometimes, but if I did rub it in my hands and warm it up a little bit and then press it into my skin, I felt like it absorbed and kind of sinked into my skin a lot easier than the other ways of application. I felt like when I dropped it onto my skin or had to rub it in, it just kind of sat on top of my skin for quite a while, and I had to wait like a few minutes for it to absorb, whereas when I applied it into my palms and pressed it in, I felt like it just instantly absorbed. It leaves a really nice glow to the skin. Overall, I didn't find a huge difference, although Logan did mention that my skin complexion seemed a lot more even these days, so I'm assuming it is this. And lastly, I did try mixing it in with moisturizer as well. Usually I did this in the AM. I thought it was a lot quicker just being able to mix it in with my moisturizer and just pop it on. I think it worked well. It mixed with pretty much any moisturizer I tried, and it definitely made it easier to absorb into the skin. And I also used it twice a day in this way. In the AM, I mixed it in with my moisturizer and applied it, and then in the PM, I just put it on my palms and applied it, and I could apply it twice a day and it did not irritate my skin. Even after I kind of trialed it for a few days in a row, it did not irritate my skin. So it is obviously a very gentle vitamin C serum. In Japan, they do not often include the percentage of the vitamin C, so this one does not say, but I would assume that it is quite gentle. So my overall review is that it is a very affordable drugstore product that is quite effective. In my opinion, it works best on new acne scars, not sunspots, but it does look like it is something that varies quite a bit depending on the user. I read quite a few reviews in like English and Japanese, and it really does depend on the person how effective they found it, so please keep that in mind. And as I said earlier, the percentage of vitamin C is probably quite low, so it'd be good for people who do have sensitive skin and are a little bit kind of wary of trying a vitamin C serum. The cons for me is that I am not a huge fan of the texture. I do find it a little bit hard to work with, and as I said, it just kind of sits on top of my skin. And there's something I realized that when I was applying it directly and rubbing it in, although it was effective on the scars, I kind of felt like it made my pores more noticeable. I felt like just that area of pores, like on my cheeks, it just made them seem a little bit more noticeable, a little bit more open. And then I felt like maybe it somehow clogged my pores. I don't know if it was just this, because as you guys know, I do try a lot of skincare products, but at one stage when I was using this, I kept getting like very slight blockages in my like outer cheek area and in my chin area. Not sure if it is this, but I didn't really like the way it made my skin feel when I applied it directly, so that's why I started changing it to like rubbing it in my hands and applying it that way. All in all, I do think it lives up to the hype, especially for the price. It is extremely affordable, so if you haven't tried it yet, I would definitely say it is worth giving a go. Next is the Melano CC sheet mask. So this one has 30 sheets and is 300 ml, and it was 1,000 Japanese yen when I bought it. It has this sign that says only Matsumoto Kiyoshi, which is actually a drugstore in Japan, so I believe that means that this pack is only available in that drugstore, the 30 pack, but I believe they commonly have the 20 sheet pack online and in other stores as well. So again, the main active ingredients are vitamin C and E, just like the serum. Again, the fragrance is very similar to the essence. It has a sweet citrus orangey smell. So the packaging, it is just in a big kind of bulk pack. The sheets are all just in there folded up kind of on top of each other. I believe the smaller one does come in just like a little block compared to this one, which comes in a bag. I do really like that it is in a bulk pack, which is a lot more common in Japan versus Korea. Obviously, it saves a lot of packaging. It's just this one bag for 30 sheet masks. You think about how much waste comes from 30 individually wrapped sheet masks versus this. Obviously, this is a lot less. I will say the way they have kind of put the sheet masks in, it can be quite hard to get out because you can't really tell each sheet apart and they're kind of stuck together. It does have like an opening on the bottom so you can kind of sit it up, but I feel like it makes the essence kind of distribute unevenly because like the essence is here essentially and the sheet masks are kind of sitting up, so I feel like it probably doesn't distribute the essence quite evenly, but I feel like that's just something we're gonna have to deal with. So the sheet mask itself is quite thin, I will say. It's just like a thin cotton, let me get one out. See, do you know what I mean? It's like Am I taking one out? Am I taking two out? I don't know. I think I got two. Yeah. So here's the sheet mask. It is quite thin. It is not a very thick material. And I would say the fit is not like the best, and I read this in a lot of reviews that people were not happy with the fit like at all. It was quite large around the eyes, so I had to kind of fold up the sheet mask to kind of cover more of my eye, and they have cuts, like extra cuts all over and stuff, but with the cuts you actually have to kind of tear it open yourself. Like, it does not come detached, so you do have to kind of tear those little cuts yourself, which is kind of like interesting, a little bit annoying because you do get a little bit of that like fuzz and material. I wouldn't say it is like the highest quality sheet. So the way they recommend using it is to cleanse your face, prep it and tone it, and then use the sheet mask. If you are using the essence, make sure you use the sheet mask first before you apply the essence. My opinion on these sheet masks are that they are a really lightweight mask. They're not anything intense. If you're after something quite rich and moisturizing, it is not going to be that. It is quite a typical Japanese like bulk sheet mask where it is more hydrating, just a really quick kind of freshen up. That is why it is only 5 minutes. It's not like a super nourishing kind of rich, intense, let's sit here for 20 minutes and let everything soak in to my skin kind of mask. If you are after one that's just like a daily use and you do have slightly more like oily combination skin, it would probably work better for you versus those who do have drier skin. I do feel like it lacks a little bit of essence, probably because it is packaged in this way. I just felt like by the time it was dry, or like the 5 minutes was over, the sheet was pretty much dry on the skin. Not falling off, but there wasn't like a lot of essence that was kind of there to seep into your skin, so I would not recommend to use it over 5 minutes. 5 minutes, that's pretty much it. You're going to get as much as there is. And they do claim it to be like a well clinging sheet mask. It says it on the packaging, like michaku is to like stick really well, cotton sheet. It goes on alright, but I would not say it's like really well sticking. Like, I was putting on lip balm while I had it on, and then when I smacked my lips together, it kind of just like made everything lift up and it stopped sticking to my face. So I would not say like it sticks that well to your face. Would recommend using like a silicone kind of mask thingy over the top if you don't want it to fall off super easy. So I will say it is probably not the highest quality or most effective sheet mask. I will say it does work really well with the essence. I felt like after I put on the sheet mask and went to apply the essence, it just absorbed quicker, it kind of glided across the skin easier, and it didn't have as much of a problem with like the texture of the essence. So these two do work hand in hand well together. It's really just like a quick 5-minute sheet mask, a little bit of hydration, a little bit of feel fresh. Can't talk. Although it is like 1,000 yen for 30 sheet masks, which end up being what, like 30 cents a piece. So in that sense, like, it's not bad. Honestly, it is not bad at all. So overall, the Rohto Melano CC range I think is an incredibly affordable drugstore brand that has really good active ingredients. It is quite effective for what it is and what you pay. I think the essence definitely is a winner. It's obviously a good seller and cult favorite for a reason, so definitely give this a go if you can. I guess that's essentially it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!